What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 56 on my road to 700 pounds on bench press. So coming off of a good deload last week, feeling really good. Definitely excited. My tendonitis seems to be a little bit taken care of. Obviously, it's not gone away, but definitely getting my rest and recovery, eating very well. My weight is staying right around 300. Sometimes it drops down to about 297, and it can go up, 305 depending on a meal. But definitely got everything under control as far as what I can control outside the gym. Stress is down, life is good. Going to have a great week this week. I really feel that everything mentally is right on point. Obviously, there's some things in the back of my mind that I'm thinking as far as, maybe things are maybe a little too heavy right now and we just need to back off from the meet. The other side of things is telling me, well, we have a chance right now. If everything if the timing is right, we can go ahead and race forward and go ahead and jump into this next meet and use the momentum from Boss of Bosses to go into a 700-pound bench at the next meet. But I'm going to show you guys the recap for this week. But before I do, I really do appreciate each and every one of you that's tuned in. We have over 10,000 subscribers. I am so blessed and humbled by you guys. I can't believe that I had less than 30 subscribers just a few years ago, and it was just kind of me uploading my videos to watch and things like that. And now I've got a herd of you guys following and subscribing to me and checking me out and sending me messages, things like that. And I really do appreciate the encouragement and the tips and the questions and everything like that you guys have. But before I go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe and share with your friends. I'd love to spread whatever I'm doing, as far as my training is concerned. I'm not saying it's the best that's out there, but I definitely think that I have something that's unique and special as far as the way that I approach my own training. And a lot of you guys kind of wonder what the elite lifters do kind of on their time off and how they approach their training and their mentality. And this is what I'm basically trying to give you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and dive right on into the week's recap. Let's go. So day one here, heavy bench day, showing you guys my last set here, last couple sets here of singles, 405. If you remember last week, it was a 500 3x3 deload, and we were feeling a little banged up. The week previous to that, 585. I was supposed to go up to a pretty heavy triple, and it was supposed to be 595 for a triple. 585 just didn't quite go up, so we took a deload naturally. Blazing fast 405, feeling really good. Last warm up here of 495. Actually, once again, sorry, not the last warm up, second to last warm up. But here at Dubs Barbell Club in Spring, Texas, many of you guys know Dubs Barbell Club, and if you don't, you soon will. Coach Dubs _242 on Instagram is where he can be found. Good buddy of mine. We've been training together for a long time. Just had a baby, so congratulations, Justin. 495 here. Let's see how this feels. Pretty fast. I'm happy with that. All right, we get a spot here. Lift off. Last warm up, 585. Set for today calls for 610 for a double, which is about 20 pounds shy of my current PR with 630 for two. And that was leading into a 672 bench press about a year or so ago. Getting set up here, getting tight, getting my mind right. I've done this a million times, but each time is just as important as the last. Stay tight here. After this, we'll go ahead and jump to 610 for a double. This is my last warm-up. Not too bad, but definitely just felt off. So I had a couple conversations in the background, and knowing that how that felt, 610 for two, just didn't feel right. This is probably about 20 minutes later. I didn't want to totally ditch the day. I had some conversations, obviously, with my coach. I'm going to go and do a 500 AMRAP here just to get some frustration out. Basically, the idea was to go 610 for two in a format that's going to get us to doubles probably with 630, 640, and start singling out and go for 700 here in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And that is just not seeming to be the smart approach at this moment. Not hurt, but definitely not feeling as strong as I should at this moment. It's kind of leading up to this. Going into the deload, we knew that this might be a possibility. I think the smart call here is to back things way back down and start from a little bit wider base this time around. Had a great meet at Boss of Bosses, had a good prep, and just went ahead and tried to ride that momentum, and the body just says no. So going in, I'm going to do a quick set here. This is 405, basically just trying to get some blood flow. I don't have a strategy for this part of the workout right now, just because the strategy was to go in and do all my accessory work and everything from a 610 for 2 main set. That was called as soon as that 585, you can go up as fast as it should have, because 610 really should be a blaze. And then next week, the plan would be like 620 or 630 for 2. That would just not be a smart move. The RPEs would be way, way, way up. So made the call. We're not going to do a meet. We're not going to get into meet prep or stay in the meet prep. We're going to come out of meet prep, and we're going to go back down into a little bit of hypertrophy phase, some higher reps, some more volume, just to really work on some weaknesses that you always have. And just to let this tendonitis kind of subside a little bit so that we go forward the right way whenever I choose to do a meet. Quick set there of 315 for 10. A little bit of 225 action here. It's been a while since I've done any significant amount of reps with 225. Decided to do a quick set of 20 here. A little bit wider grip. Go ahead and switch over to a little bit of close grip. Those pecs started getting burned out a little bit, so go ahead and work the triceps a little bit. So, needless to say, pretty frustrated that bench is not going where I want it to go. But like a great fighter once said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, just got punched in the mouth, and now we're having to regroup and kind of figure out how we're going to treat bench cycle. I still like squats and deadlifts to stay in the mix, even on a bench only cycle, keeping those in the mix. Not super heavy, and what I mean by super heavy is training like we're in meet prep for squat and deadlift. So on this squat day, warm up there at 495, figured I'd go for a PR here, 520 for 10. Not super heavy, but definitely a gasser. It's a lot of cardio for me. Anything over 5 reps is kind of a little bit out of practice, especially being in meet prep the last few weeks with Boss Bosses and everything like that. But you know, frustration is an all-time high, which is natural. It's how you deal with it that matters. So, you know, being concerned and questioning yourself, you know, was your strength there? Where did it go? What happened? All those things cross your mind. But at the end of the day, what happens is your body, it's not a machine. Your body is going to do what it's told. But if you tell it what to do all the time and you never get a chance to rest, you're going to break it down too soon. You're going to be injured, and you're not going to hit any more PRs or hit any more progress. So the thing you got to do is you got to check your ego. So this is literally what it looks like when you check your ego. On bench, we're going to be backing it down. Obviously, this recap is a few days after. Had a chance to talk to the coach at length. What we're going to do is we're going to break things down, and we're going to go into sets of 8 and 10 to build a little bit bigger base going forward. And then once things start to feel better, and it may take a few weeks, may take it may take a couple months, who knows, as we'll move into some higher reps, or sorry, higher weight, and go forward from there. So as you saw last week, was working on a little bit of hook grip. This is something to keep me excited, going for a matched PR here with hook. This is 495, right at 500. Actually, that may have been a double over. Yeah, misspoke on that one. Going for another PR here. My current PR for double overhand was done at the animal cage. That was 605, and figured, you know what, let's go for a 610. Get it right about here, start slipping out. That's not going to happen. So I went ahead and, you know what, let's just go ahead and see how the hook grip feels on this. My thumbs probably won't like it, but pretty happy with that. That's the heaviest I've ever gone with a hook grip. So PR there with 610 hook grip. Thumbs are definitely a little bruised up, but they'll get over it. Wanted to get a little more volume in, so I went ahead and strapped up and got 610 here for 3. But still keeping it pretty light. I mean, 610 is fairly light, considering I can do almost 800. But still trying to focus on form and not tax the hammies or the quads too much, just because we haven't gone heavy in a while, and so it would not be smart to go ahead and hop up to the 700 and then crazy like that for deadlift. But that's it for the recap. Got a little bit out of the groove this week, obviously, with the structure of the workout when things didn't work out on bench day. That is what a real life scenario of getting punched in the mouth looks like in your workouts. So yeah, you definitely frustrated. You know, I was really hoping to go forward with meet prep. I was really, you know, obviously, you know, getting excited to go for a bench only cycle and get up there and weight pretty quick. But that is not the smart thing to do. Now, like I said last week and the week before, take the deload, see how we feel after the deload. Felt pretty good. Went ahead and called for, and actually I really wanted to continue doing triples just because I wanted to get a PR on a triple. Current PR right now for a triple is like 600. But really, when it comes down to it, you know, I wanted to do what's best for the training. So 610 for 2 was called, and that didn't happen. Obviously, it wouldn't have been smart to even try 610 for 1 after the way 585 felt. I just knew something was off. If you look at my right arm, it was just giving out a little bit, and I can definitely tell why that was. You know, tendonitis in my elbows and right in this area was definitely jammed up, and my rotator was just definitely feeling inflamed. Been icing and heating and taking care of it, but the only way to really take care of it and to make it heal is not going to be to put more weight on it, because it's just going to irritate it more and probably cause a serious injury, and we don't want that. The other thing is to be mature about it and go, you know what, let's back things down, like I would advise anybody to do, unless you're like a week out from a meet or a PR of your lifetime. If you've got several weeks or a month or 2-3 months, you can spare to back off a little bit on the weight, especially if it means that you're looking at the bigger picture. You know, I was banking on doing a meet, you know, before the end of the year. That obviously would be stupid to try to do now, because there's no way that I'm going to go from performing like this week to all of a sudden performing at, you know, a 650 bench next week and then be able to peak from there. So the smartest thing to do is to back the weight down, take it back a notch, go back to the 10s, probably in somewhere, I would say in the 400s range, maybe even the 405 range for sets of 10, sets of 8, kind of start working up from there. And like I've said sometimes in the past, is, you know, taking your training back from this point in the pyramid to down here, where you're actually able to build a little bit bigger base. And then as we progress forward from there, we can peak and progressively overload the right way. But other than that, I mean, you know, obviously it's not what I wanted. It's not what I planned on, but spirits are high. I feel really good because I'm not injured. And so I can always work off of that. The one thing, like I was saying on the leg day, is that you want to use what you can, and little PRs are something. So even if my bench is kind of, you know, not feeling it right now, you know, I want to stay smart in my approach, but I can definitely go and do some other PRs. So hook grip PR, keeping the weight fairly light for me anyways. I can work on hook grips and work on those PRs. And so I'm getting excited about going in the next week and saying, okay, let me try a hook grip PR with 5 more pounds. And then let me try another double overhand grip with this PR. And it keeps you where you're able to progress for few months at a time without going super, super heavy. Even if you go back down, like for me, going back down to 405, my best, which we won't be doing any reps in that category, like reps of 20 or anything, but like my best of 10 is 500. So if we can get to the point to where maybe I can start chipping away at those PRs for my 10s and chipping away at my PRs for my 8s, those going forward keeps me excited about going to the gym, because I'm not worried about, can I hit 672 today in the gym every single day? It's more like, can I hit 500 for 8? Can I hit it for 10? Okay, well now can we go 505 for 10? Can we go 510 for 8? And then progressively going forward, the weight gets heavier, the reps start stripping off, and then we start thinking about high 600s again, and we're already 6 months in the future to where we're actually able to do it in a smart way. But that's going to be it for this week's recap. Like I said earlier, we're at over 10,000 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. If you haven't already and you like this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. You can definitely find me on Instagram at SwimHack. I do a lot of daily posts about where I'm eating and how training's going, and just little in-depth things like that maybe I don't cover in the YouTube videos. Sometimes it's kind of spontaneous post, and by the time the YouTube recap comes around, I either forget about it or make this thing like 2 hours long. I know you guys won't stick around for that long, but once again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Next week, we're going to probably go back down into like the mid 400 range. And start working on some technical issues, start letting my body just rest. It's basically taking a, I don't want to say deload, but basically we're kind of doing about a 75% deload in terms of, we're not going straight to the deload and we're not up here at this level. We're going somewhere in between, just to make the training a little more fun going forward. I don't want to be banged up and hurting. And let's face it, I mean, when you're dealing with 600 plus pounds on bench every week, or squat or deadlift, or even 500 pounds on either of these lifts, your body's going to tell you when it's tired. You need to listen to it. So that's exactly what we're doing here. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. I may be looking like I'm down. I doubt it, because I don't think I'm down at all. But definitely spirits are high, and we will come back and we will smash some serious PRs. Mark my words. So I will see you guys next week. See ya.